Damn, I need some more coffee. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to RootzLive. Hey, it's our event coverage of the Samsung Unpacked 2012 event. We hear that they might be talking about releasing some kind of info about something today. Pretty sure we all know what that is. I'm very excited to have you all here joining us. Today's date is Wednesday, May 3rd, 2012. It's currently about 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. That's 1:30 Eastern. I'm your host, Scotty Brown, broadcasting from soggy, wet, nasty, gray, overcast. Where the hell is my summer? Puget Sound, Washington. Let's go ahead and we'll get our guests online here so we know who we're going to be talking to today. Over here, we got Steve Smith. His counterpart is gone. Ah, there he is. What's up, Birdman?
What's up?
Good to see you guys. Smith, are you up? You got coffee?
I will go get coffee now.
At least you got... Oh, there he goes. Going to get coffee. Nice. Bird, how you doing this morning?
Doing pretty good. Things are... Wondering where the summer is here, too, so you're not the only one.
In Central California, dude, it gets to like, oh my God, hot temperatures there. That's just, it's stupid.
It's pretty chilly.
It's pretty chilly and pretty windy and overcast right now.
Cool. Let's go ahead and let's introduce our next guest. You guys know him from Geek.com, everybody. Russell Hawley. What's up, Russell? Thank you. You can speak now.
I can speak now. That's awesome.
You haveth the speaketh. And our final guest for today's panel, you know him as White Hawk. He's part of Team King, fellow Puget Sounder, epic beard man. He's got the long hair. You got to mullet that stuff, dude. Everybody give it up to Jonathan Stedman. Nice to join us. Thank you, sir. You can speak too. Jonathan?
Oh, that's better.
Ah, there's that mute button. What do you know? Well, thanks everybody for joining us. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy work day. So I'm pretty sure that everybody's been rather busy getting ready for this Unpacked 2012 event. Today's schedule, we're going to provide some pre-event coverage. So we're going to talk a little bit about what to be expected, what we think they're going to be announcing, all sorts of stuff. We have a really good idea, and I'm sure everybody watching does as well. During the event, though, we are going to go dark. We'll keep the chat room open so that you can, so we can discuss it with the people in the chat. But we're not going to be broadcasting during the actual event. And then after the event's over, we're going to go directly live and have post-event coverage with our panel. So don't go anywhere. Stay in the chat room with us, and and we can talk about things as they're being announced. Apparently, it's only being broadcast across Samsung Mobile's Facebook page. I don't know why, but that's apparently where they've chosen to do that. And I'm pretty sure someone's going to hit it in the chat room here. If not, I'll link you guys in just a moment. It's on my other PC. So let's talk a little bit about what to expect today. I want to start with Russell Hawley first. You work for Geek.com. You're pretty plugged in. What can we expect?
Samsung's going to come in hard. I mean, the Galaxy line, if this is in fact the next Galaxy phone, this is going to continue the legacy that they started with the original Samsung Galaxy line, which was really the first in the Android phones to hit all 4 U.S. carriers. And that was a really big deal because while it was a variation on each carrier, Samsung had a presence. They were the first company to have a presence on every major U.S. carrier. And I am all but certain that they're going to do the exact same thing, only now with 3, ready-to-go LTE networks here in the U.S., they're going to come back just as strong with this next Galaxy.
It'd be nice to see this device hit all of the networks like like the Galaxy S did. I mean, I kind of liked how there were different variants of the device. Some were better, some were some weren't as good. But one of the things that was frustrating about the first Galaxy S that went out was the hardware features. The Vibrant didn't have a flash. The Fascinate did. The Epic had a keyboard. I kind of like that, but there's that flash thing kind of got to me because I feel that it's a flash is kind of important when you're focusing so hard on having a mobile camera, and leaving that out just kind of, I don't know, it kind of sucked. Jonathan, let's hit you up, buddy. What are you expecting to hear today? Is this something that's going to, from a developer perspective, is this a device that you think will be something that you'll find in your arsenal?
Oh yeah, I'm really excited about the Galaxy S3. I'm pretty confident that somehow, some way, me and Roman will acquire one, and we're going to try our best to just kill the development on it.
Yeah, cool. Let's hit up Smith and Bird as well, guys. Today's event, if they announce the S3 like we're expecting them to, is this going to be a game changer? Is this going to be the iPhone 5 killer?
iPhone 5 killer, I don't know. I can't really speculate on that because I'm really hoping that Apple removes their head from a certain orifice and goes with a little bit bigger of a screen. I'm a lover of all technology except Windows. Yeah, I think it's going to be a hell of a competitor, though. Samsung, I really hope that they KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I hope they don't try to do anything too funky. One problem I do have is, I thought that we were moving away from the hardware keys, and I mean, I don't really mind a soft key, but literally a hard key kind of, takes away from the slight factor. But I don't know. I hope it is.
Yeah, I think if it's going to be an iPhone 5 killer, then it needs to be.
It'll at least look like it.
The device, the device on each carrier needs to have very, very similar look, and all the hardware should be exactly the same, like you guys were talking about.
All right. Just so that we're on the same page, some of the rumored specs. Apparently, this is going to be an ARM-based 1.4 gig Exynos 4-quad processor. I guess 4-quad is their brand name. Anyways, it's 4-core processor. They're saying it's expected to double the phone's processing speed coming from the S2. Samsung says the new system on chip is capable of running at speeds even higher than 1.4. Whether it will in the Galaxy S3 remains to be seen. It's also based on a 32-nanometer manufacturing process. The S2 runs an older dual-core 45-nanometer chip. The Exynos 4 will also allegedly use 20% less power than the processor in the S2, as well as handle 1080p video recording and playback. It's supposed to have a Super AMOLED Plus screen, anywhere from 4.6 to 4.8 inches in size, a 12-megapixel rear camera, 1 gig of RAM, and 16 gigs of storage. Russell, is this what you're expecting? Do these sound like stats you would expect from the next generation Samsung device?
I think that it's certainly possible. I also think that it's important to keep in mind that the UK variant of this phone and the US variant of this phone are going to be different. We're not going to see Exynos in the US, I think. Exynos will probably be in the UK version, but we're likely not going to see it in the US version. And the other thing to keep in mind about that physical button's been part of the Galaxy line since day one for the UK version, but never been a thing for the US version. Like I've got the Galaxy S2 here, and it's got a physical button in the middle. It's the same physical button that we've seen in some of the leaks and some of the pictures. There's no reason to assume that the US version is going to look like this, because the US version of the Galaxy S2 didn't look like this. So I think the US version, what we're looking at here, we're looking at a Qualcomm S4, the same thing that we've got going in the in the One X and the One S. That crate-powered Snapdragon. That'll be able to rock some pretty hardcore LTE, and that'll be the end of it.
Nice. Jonathan, of these specs that have been, allegedly announced, of those specs, what would you say is the best feature that so far has been not really announced, but speculated on?
I'm really excited about the Exynos quad-core processor. It's funny, I've really wanted to have an Exynos processor in one of my Galaxy S phones, but the US just never seems to get it, and I agree that they're going to go in the US. It'll be the S4 Snapdragon instead. I'm really hoping that the S3 supports the 1700 band for T-Mobile, because then I can just go with the international version.
Sure. And
speaking of the physical button, I actually really like the hard physical key over the soft keys.
Okay. Smith and Bird, what of these features do you find most attractive? What kind of gets you going the most?
I'm still a huge fan of the AMOLED screen as it is. I mean, I've had my share of crappy phones. The processor, I really hope that we don't come into the issue that we had with the Tegra 3 and LTE on AT&T's network. I hope that all is good, but like everyone said, we haven't had it here in the U.S. to be able to actually check it out and see if it will work on that network. But hey, I'm all for it. I think that the processor is going to be a huge step forward. As far as the international version goes, I can't really see anything. It's sad to say it's getting harder and harder to please the smartphone enthusiast because phones are just getting better and better.
They are.
Yeah. That 12 megapixel camera sounds pretty awesome. If it is in fact an actual 12 megapixel camera.
Holy crap! Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, they need like a pen.
I don't know though. That sounds a little out there. So maybe that's just
no. That actually makes perfect sense for it to be a 12 megapixel.
What was it? Does anyone know how many megapixels it was on the Sony? Was it 14, 16, something like that? They were talking about.
Russell?
14. Well, it was, it's totally possible, especially if it's running Qualcomm, for there to be a 12 megapixel camera. The Qualcomm developer phone that they released at CTIA last year, the development platform for all of the Snapdragon stuff for that year, the developer device that they had had a 13 megapixel camera. So it's absolutely possible.
I gotta say, of all the features that have so far been announced, speculated on, not announced. I'm sorry. I gotta tell you, I'm a huge fan of Samsung screens. I mean, they do it right. The colors are vivid. They're beautiful. They are so high resolution. And one of the things that I like about Samsung screens is when I'm watching video, like a movie from Netflix or something, and I can get it in high def. The motion on the screen is just great. It's crisp. It's clear. It looks awesome. It pops, and there's no lag. The screens on Samsung devices they're killer. They're above par in my opinion, and it seems that every time they come out with a next generation device, that they just improve on that screen technology. And I personally, I think the screen size, the Galaxy Note has a pretty damn big screen too. I like the idea of a 4.6 to 4.8 inch screen. Russell, what do you think about you've been been playing with the Note and all that? What do you think of something that big in your pocket?
So, I definitely feel like they did the right thing with the Galaxy Note. I enjoy using the Galaxy Note on a regular basis. It's really difficult to use when you've got like a case on it. I have a Galaxy Note here. When you put a case on it, it really becomes unwieldy and too large. But that larger screen size, like the Galaxy Nexus screen size is really well done. I think it fits very nice in the hand. And the One X is also it's another big screen phone. It's a 4.7 inch screen, but it's still very comfortable to use.
Jonathan, what do you think of a screen that big?
I really like it. I was actually a big fan of the Galaxy Note. I like the larger screen, but you got to keep in mind I have like ginormous hands, and it fits really comfortable in it.
Cool. What about developing on something that big from a developer's perspective? Is that would you say that having that much real estate with that high of a resolution, is that more of a challenge, or would that be actually something that you'd find to be attractive about the device?
I think it's attractive. I don't think that it would hinder the ability to do anything, really. At least I haven't come across anything.
Okay.
Well, it's ICS, so you got fragments.
Right.
The fragments UI that makes any screen size really easy to develop on.
Right.
That's true.
Smith, Bird, any thoughts on the screen size?
If I can carry dinner on it, I'll be all right.
It's a serving tray. Nice. I wanted to give an update. I'm waiting for the live stream here. And it's not just their Facebook page. You can go to thenextgalaxy.com and view the live stream right there. And they've also got a Twitter feed. They've got they got some looped video playing right now. Yeah.
Switch over to my screen. This right here is what I want attached to the back of my phone. Like Arif Nomi said, I want this attached to the back of my phone.
There's that ADD again. Broadcasting with Steve Smith is always an adventure. We'll be talking about something like, blah, 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 about HTC, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, Scotty, I love ponies. What the hell is that,
It's not that bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
Scotty.
No, God, Russell, no.
I want to be able to play this
on my
phone.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, we can't hear it.
Nice. I agree. I totally concur.
So the next Galaxy.com is where you can view the live stream once it goes live, and I'll let everybody know once it does. It looks like we might be T-minus 15 minutes or so until that goes live. Like I said, they've got some pretty colors and a looped video feed of something going on there. What's kind of funny is at the bottom of the video stream, it says, live streaming of the Samsung Mobile Unpacked 2012 will begin shortly. They spelled Samsung wrong. It's S-A-M-S-U-G. Samsung. Okay. There's attention to detail there. It's live on YouTube as well. So there's a lot of different places where we can watch this. And as I said, when they go live, I'll let everybody know our show is going to go dark, but we're going to stay in the chat room because I really want to – I like discussing things as they're being announced. And then once the event is over, we'll come back live on the air and we'll have post coverage. So is there there's been a lot – it seems like the current fashion, especially for HTC phones and the current trend, I guess, in Android has been to not have expandable SD slots, not have removable batteries, things like that. I haven't really heard much about any rumors about the S3 not having an SD slot or not having a removable battery. Have you guys heard anything about that, if those features are going to be included or discluded?
No, nothing specific.
Nothing specific? Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about that. I'm going to get the call queue up and see if there's anybody on air who wants to chime in. 347-838-9645 is the phone number. It should be there at the top of your page. 347-838-9645. Why does it say that I'm not connected? I sure as hell had better be connected. Like I said, I was connected. Oh, I am connected. Okay. Connected over there.
You tell Scotty Brown he's not connected.
No, I'm not connected. Thing is, I actually have the switchboard up on a couple different machines right now. And 347-838-9645. If you got anything you want to add to this, we'd love to hear your thoughts before before the Unpacked 2012 goes live. They are in London, and it's I think it's 7 o'clock over there, so it's in the evening. But let's while we're waiting for some callers. Looks like we got a couple who are popping in. Let's go back to you, Jonathan. As a developer, how critical is having an SD card and a removable battery? If this device doesn't include those features or one or not of them, how do you feel about that?
I would really hope that it included both. I know when I got my Galaxy Nexus, one of the things that kind of disappointed me was no slot for an external SD card. So my 32 gigabyte external is essentially useless now.
Sure.
And I have, there's nothing to do with it. So I'd really hope for that. And, I also upgraded my battery to the extended battery. So I would hope that there would be, options available on the S3.
Bird, Smith, what about you guys? How do you feel about having those features going?
Someone said something in the chat about Apple crying about the battery not being removable.
Yeah.
Well, Apple's a little bit late. They've been doing that for a while on tablets. Geez, I'm really, really, really split decision between the battery not being removable. It's kind of cool that your phone's a little bit thinner, but at the same time, it's nice to pull out of a boot loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much over the whole internal SD card being the only
Yeah, we've managed
thing.
for like 5 months now.
It
with
was
the Nexus.
annoying at first, definitely.
I still love my device just as much.
Yeah, I don't care
It doesn't
anymore.
bother me.
Sure. That's Russell, you want to add your 2 cents to that?
Well, I mean, the cool thing about they did implement some things when it comes to things that didn't have a removable battery to fix that back in Honeycomb, actually. And they carried it over into ICS. It's not simply holding down the power button for dear life. If you just very simply tap on the power button and the volume up button, no matter what device you have, as long as it's an ICS device, it will reboot itself. It'll power down, and that's something that's been built in on an OS level since Honeycomb, and it works great.
Cool. Still waiting for Samsung to get started here. Loving the pretty Aurora Borealis kind of lights that are going on there. I got 2 callers in there. Let's see if we can't pull somebody on board here. Oh my gosh, I got to go over to this one here. Boy, that's just, looks like everything is kind of frozen on that machine. That sucks. I just love it when everything works like it's supposed to. Oh, that's just beautiful. Anyways, okay, so I don't have the ability right now to take callers because my machine froze. So we're going to have to pull it back on. Let's do a little of this. While that's rebooting, let's talk a bit about this whole strategy about not having the removable SD and cloud services. You know, Google Drive launched, and it's really obvious that everybody and their brother. It seems like the OEMs want you to use cloud storage because then they don't have to have as much internal memory. The carriers want you to use cloud storage because they want to charge you out the ear for data. And Google obviously wants you to use cloud storage because they're making pretty much all of their options available in the cloud. I really want to kind of get your guys' take on that about this next generation device not having an SD card and moving to cloud. We'll start with Smith and Bird. Is this a plus or a minus as far as the cloud storage goes?
Cloud storage, I don't know if it's reached the privacy standards that social networks have reached yet. People are kind of, people are unsure. They don't think, is this really something that I can trust 100% yet? The average person is thinking, oh, well, it's out there in the cloud and it's up and my file's there, but is it really safe?
In the big picture, they're still tripping over the same steps that they did in the social networking side of the
Exactly.
house.
People are still worried about whether or not their file is really going to be there, and people really
what
haven't
kind of
gotten that
scrutiny
confidence.
is going to be in your folder or cloud.
It's definitely moving in the right direction, and I think people are feeling more safe and more secure about storing their files in the cloud. So I think within the next year, 2 years, we're definitely just going to see massive cloud support.
Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm kind of split on it. I like cloud storage. I use it, but there are some things, just like listening to music. If you're driving in the car and you hit a dead area, you're not going to be able to stream music from Google Music or anything like that. So it's nice to have that expandable slot, so you can put a lot of memory in there to store things like your music that you have access to right there, no matter what.
Guys, I'm looking at the live stream, and it looks like they just changed stuff. Looks like the event is starting. So we are going to go dark. We'll keep the chat room open. We're going to stop streaming. We'll keep the chat room open. And then once the event is over, we will all come back online to watch, to have some post commentary. So stay in the chat room, watch your stuff, and we'll catch you as soon as this is over, all right? Thanks, guys, for tuning into the pre-show. We'll see you maybe about 45 minutes or an hour.
See you guys.
All right.
See you.
All righty then. Welcome back to RootzLive post Samsung Unpacked event coverage. Wow. That was, yeah. I don't know about you guys, but that was pretty, pretty intense, man. They really blew that up. Let's start. Russell, what's up, dude? Welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. So, was that everything you expected and more? Was it like Christmas or what?
It was really weird.
What do you mean by really weird?
I mean, all right, let's see if we can break this down into its elements. It was designed for humans. It was inspired by nature. Just all these weird, proto concepts. Just tell us about the damn phone. What? I mean, come on, really? Inspired by nature? No, it's a phone. Sorry, it was inspired by the last phone that you made that you wanted to make upgrades to. All of this stuff, just this random filler shit that was just completely unnecessary. 45 minutes of that was just fluff, and the worst kind of fluff. Not even like, here, let's do a demo where things actually make sense. They did that camera demo where the best shot thing And the woman who was having the picture taken of her was like, well, that feature sucks. We're not going to go with that.
All right.
I mean, the whole thing was just this weird dish. It was like an out-of-body experience for Samsung. It was so weird.
Well, yeah, I can tell you obviously have an issue with the whole marketing and the whole event itself, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty high class. Having the orchestra there and
well, that's just Samsung. I mean, they always do it up for an event.
Yeah, but I mean I thought that was pretty cool. It was really high class. Just to go over some of the announcements that were made as far as everything that was confirmed. I took copious amounts of notes. 8.66 millimeters thick, 133 grams. Comes in two colors, dark blue and white. There's a whole host of accessories that are going to come along with it. It's got a 4.8-inch HD Super AMOLED screen, 8-megapixel rear camera, LED flash. The front-facing camera you can do high-def video with. Just a whole amazing amount of accessories that I thought were pretty cool. Specifically, the inductive wireless charging. That really kind of been waiting for that to be mass marketed for.
Never been seen on a phone before, ever.
Right. This is something that Russell, you and I have been talking about for over a year now, having the key and all that. So
people from Palm must be rolling over in their graves right now.
Let's see. Launch dates. It's going to be launched in Europe on May 29th, and that's also, let me find my notes. It's going to be in over 145 countries, 296 mobile operators. End of May, with May 29th for Europe, Asia, Middle East, Africa, Latin America. LTE versions to be launched in North America, Japan, Korea during the summer. I thought I heard somewhere at the end of June. Really interesting they said LTE version because T-Mobile doesn't have an LTE network yet. So that kind of and when they flashed the specs up on the screen for like that brief second, I think someone noted that there was no HSPA plus T-Mobile bands on there. That might be, I don't know, it might be kind of hinky. Let's get away from the actual, the prettiness of the event. I want to talk about this device. Jonathan, from a developer perspective, is this drool worthy? Is this something that it meets your expectations?
It's pretty cool. I wouldn't say that I was just like, whoa, floored by it or anything. But I definitely like the specs that they listed. I gotta say though, I'm really curious about that T-Mobile band.
Yeah.
It's gonna break my heart if it doesn't have 1700 band support.
That's that honestly, being a T-Mobile customer myself, that really kind of breaks my heart. I don't want to have to change. I don't want to have to change providers to get this device, but. I don't know. Maybe that remains to be seen. A lot of the details about the specific U.S. version to be released were left out. They didn't talk about the U.S. processor and stuff like that. And I imagine we'll probably get that information at the U.S. launch, which I think will probably be coming at the end of next month. Bird, I don't see Smith there, so I'll ask you: were you impressed with the device? Is this something that you want?
I thought the body was really interesting. I kind of like how they went with one color on the front and then that little whatever you call it thing on the bezel around the side of the phone where they I don't know how to describe it.
Inspired by nature. That's how you describe it.
Inspired by nature. Okay, yeah. I mean the marketing process that they went through was pretty like Russell said. It was out of body. My personal favorite part of it was the whole picture. How they had like two pictures sitting there, and the 3G, and then the LTE picture, and they throw it, and they're like, "It's coming at you."
Nice.
But yeah, no, the phone looks great. I like the body design. I like it's got way too many sensors, I think, but.
Regarding the actual hardware design, I'll go ahead and go on record as saying that I honestly think that this is the most attractive device I have seen, and I've always been a fan of HTC devices. I kind of like their curvy industrial look, but man, I got to tell you this: it takes all the nice elements, all the nice curves and whatnot from the Galaxy Nexus, and kind of adds a little flavor. That metal band around the outside, the white or the blue back. I don't know. I thought that it was just overall an extremely attractive device. I like how it wasn't necessarily rectangular, but it had some nice curves to it. I can see when they say it was inspired by nature and specifically pebbles and stuff. It's really a big marketing thing. But I can kind of see how that would translate to feeling comfortable in the hand and really having just, I don't know, maybe the only word I can think of it as far as a very sexy feel to it. I really thought that it looked good. We got the, if you head over to rootswiki.com right now, Ash, our editor, put up an article on the front page with a bunch of the pictures from the press kit that went out. It's already up. So if you haven't seen any real close-up, good-looking pictures, head over to RootsWiki and check those out. They look pretty nice. Let's talk a little bit about this camera. They were really focusing on the camera, and a lot of people in the chat room were kind of griping about how much attention they put on the camera and all the features that came with this camera. The automatic face tagging. So if I take a picture of a bunch of people, it'll do its best to automatically recognize the faces in there and then give you options to share those. And hearing some of the people in the chat room and a little discussion that was going on between us behind the scenes, really what Samsung is doing is they are targeting the masses. Okay, the Galaxy S2 was, I don't know if it was behind the iPhone 4 or in front of the iPhone 4. I don't know off the top of my head, but it was one of the best-selling devices of all time. Okay, they put that damn phone in everybody's hands, and it was made for soccer moms and teenagers. My 10-year-old has a Galaxy S. It really was. It was a phone for the mass market. So all those features that are in there, they're not for the guys like Jonathan and Roman who are just gonna wipe it and flash and take all that crap off there. They put those features on there specifically for people who don't do that, who are going to use this and see it as a social device and use it in their everyday life. Coming from that kind of a thought and aspect on it, Russell, do you agree with me? Do you think that this is just a bunch of bloatware? These features that they've baked into this, is this a good thing or a bad thing?
This is the thing. This is what HTC was trying to do with Sense 4, and Samsung obviously took to the next level with this. Is that these guys are not building skins for Android anymore. TouchWiz and HTC Sense, these are not simply UI overlays for Android anymore. These are entire thought-out forks of the Android operating system that are separate from stock in really critical and significant ways, and that's a significant thing to really keep in mind. You want to take your phone. You're not going to de-bloat this phone in the same sense that you would, let's say, the Galaxy S2, where you remove a couple of apps, you put a different launcher on there, and you're good to go. This is really a deeply integrated experience that has been created here with things like Smart Stay and S-Voice and these features that are really gonna take the Samsung experience and do exactly what HTC's been trying to do with Sense and create its own ecosystem.
I'm going to piggyback on that. One of the things that you mentioned was their own ecosystem, and one of the features that they brought forth was their music service. 17,000 songs, blah 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 blah. That comes along with it and automatically tags your current songs and whatnot. But that's like a direct competitor for Google Music, iTunes, and all this other stuff. And you're really talking about fragmentation within separate ecosystems. And I got to say, man, I 100% agree with you on that. Instead of going out and spending all this money on R&D to already reinvent the wheel, because it's already been done. Google Music is a great product. I'm sorry. Is somebody doing heavy construction?
No.
Okay. Sorry, I'll get a lot of background noise from someone. But, instead of reinventing the wheel, why not use the tools that are there, like Google Music? Why should we choose their music service over everybody else's? I don't know. It seems like a little more fragmentation. I do got someone in the call queue, and if you guys want to call in and you want to add your commentary, give us a jingle, 347-838-9645. That's 347-838-9645. Let's see here. This is area code 210. I believe that's New York or something. You're on the air. Who's this? 210. Turn your radio down. Turn your computer down. I can hear myself telling you.
Hello?
Hello. How are you doing?
Hey.
Thoughts on the device? Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll pull you back on the air when you turn your speakers down. I can't have the feedback coming through. Let's Bird, what were your thoughts about all the accessories that they're bringing on board here? A car dock, a desktop dock, the dongle that with the HDMI that plugs into any TV, whatnot. What were your thoughts on that? Wow, you need to unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. I think they're aiming directly at the iPhone with those accessories and making sure that Android has all of those. They really don't have any. Google hasn't done a good job of making like a universal dock and a universal, charging station and all that stuff. So I think Samsung's just trying to fill that void, and I think it's probably going to be pretty good.
Russell, one of the inductive charging, like I said, we've been talking about this for a while, about Qi and all that. You're really up to date on this technology. How big is it to finally see that kind of tech into a mass-marketed device?
Well, I mean, the way that they've presented this, they kind of slipped it in there, and after the press docket that I just got from Samsung, I'm kind of going over it now, and it doesn't come with the phone. And that's a critical thing. It doesn't come attached to the phone. It doesn't come in the box when you buy it. It's an accessory that you can buy. And that's something we've seen plenty of times. Verizon, when the LTE rolled out, had no less than 4 different LTE phones that all had inductive charging accessories that could be purchased. So this is just kind of more of the same. It was just kind of slipped in there.
But even being slipped in isn't. I love the tech. I guess that's why I'm kind of stuck on
inductive charge all the things, in my opinion. If I could take my desk and have my desk be one massive inductive charger that I could set my laptop and my phone and whatever else on and just have it charge, I would lose bodily fluids through orifices I can't discuss publicly. Wow. I mean, it'd be really amazing.
Nice. Another thing that I caught on there is, with all these extra features and software that they're going to have on this device, they did mention that they're going to release the APIs and the SDK for all of this stuff for developers. And I thought that was a really cool move by Samsung. That really puts them at the forefront and kind of opens a lot of doors for people to take advantage of that, specifically on this device. As a developer, Jonathan, is that something that you find attractive? Are these APIs and SDKs, do you think this is going to be something that you're going to want to take a look at and maybe other developers are going to want to use?
Oh, absolutely. It's always good when they put that stuff out there for us to use and play with and get familiar with and to work with to enhance the overall product. And I think it was a very smart move, and it's going to work out really well.
That's a lovely conure you have, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It's just, it was easier to bring her over than leave her in the back and bitch at me the whole time. So.
Let's try to get one of these callers on the air. Please, if you guys call in, turn the speakers down, okay, so that we're not, you're not looping through me. 347-838-9645 is the number. All right, area code 210. We're going to give this a shot again, man. Are you there?
Yeah.
Thanks for turning your speakers down. What's up?
Wow, I'm trying to think of what it again. The whole thing, like how Russell was fighting was. Like you said, Sky, it was classy, the orchestra, but some of those videos are just kind of like this weird, futuristic. They were isolating these white rooms with just they were kind of weird. But more on the device, I guess I found out that it does have a removable battery. I thought that was pretty interesting that it actually did end up having a removable battery. Because if it didn't, I was really hoping that they were going to increase the size of the milliamps, because I don't know why Moto is the only one who's been able to stuff a 3,300 milliamp battery inside such a thin phone.
Right.
But at least now, with as small as the phone is, as thin as the phone is, we have the option for hopefully expand bigger batteries to put in there. Overall, the body, I kind of liked it, and at the same time, I was kind of, I don't know, to me, it kind of reminds me of the Nexus a little bit, but at the same time, it kind of reminds me of I don't know why, but some of the sensations, some of the HTC phones, aside from the curved glass, but just the overall body. I don't know what you guys are thoughts on I know, Scott, you realize that. I mean, the pictures, it's a beautiful device, no doubt. I don't know, I guess I was expecting a super revolutionary body, but
right.
I guess I was just a little disappointed by the body.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your call. Thanks for coming in. It's the thing is they're not going to. I don't think Samsung or anybody else is going to take some kind of a drastic step. Really, there's only so many different kinds of form factors you can make. I think they did really good. It's elegant, it's sexy, it's curvy. It appeals to me as a guy. I think it'll also appeal to a lot of women without having bright pink Hello Kitty stickers and crap all over the back. Let's take another caller. I've got area code 704 on the line. 704. Who's this?
It's Keon. Just calling in. I had a question for Bird and John and all the other developers online. I just wanted to see, for the device, what does it look like as a developer you're going to do? Are you going to try to put ICS on it, try to include features, or does it seem like just a device that you're going to pick up and just have it as a daily driver? How is that something that you're not going to develop for? What is for the developers online? What does that device look for you?
Sure, Jonathan, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. So for me, I definitely develop on it. First course of action would probably be to do a Smalley hack ROM. Me and Roman were talking about doing that, and then I would definitely try to get AOKP going for it.
Right. What about Bird? Any thoughts?
Yeah. What did you think? You thought that was a good idea too?
Bird? Not that Bird. The other Bird. Steve Bird.
I was just getting ready to say.
Crack, crack. Bird, you're muted. Jesus Christ, man.
All right, sorry, man. Yeah, I mean, I think Samsung devices have always been pretty well supported throughout the developer community, and I think that's not going to change with the Galaxy S3. I think we'll see, AOKP, we'll see AOSP, we'll see all that.
Right. I myself as someone who's I don't know, a lot of those features that were baked in that they were talking about are probably features that I'm not going to use. Some of them, though, I thought were pretty bitchin'. The zero lag shutter, the 3.3 shots per second on that camera, that's really quick, and that's really, really cool. It's something I'd like to use. The S music and all that other stuff just doesn't really appeal to me. NFC was mentioned more than once, and they've got the they're using the bump technology. They also the S something, everything was S this, S that. But there was some really cool features. It looks like they're trying to incorporate the NFC into it. Another thing that I really thought that was cool was, let me find, I'm looking at my notes, guys, was the Wi-Fi channel bonding. I don't think that's ever been done in a device before. So essentially what it's going to do, instead of just using Wi-Fi over one channel, it'll bond a couple channels together to make your Wi-Fi experience faster. That's pretty neat for, especially, I use Wi-Fi 12 hours a day, even more because I don't go out too often because I'm a troll or something. But anyways, I think that's a really cool feature, that Wi-Fi tether bonding.
It's also good because, all these Android devices you hear all the time, for example, the Transformer Prime, all kinds of Wi-Fi issues. So I'm interested to see how that works. Yeah, definitely.
Right. Someone in the chat room is asking right now about the NFC for payment. They were working with MasterCard and Visa, but I don't think they specifically mentioned Google Wallet. Russell, did you pick up on that?
No. And then Google Wallet's going to be something that'll be, available in specific areas, or, how it's going to be set up on the device is going to matter. It's really just a carrier decision at this point more than anything else. Mm-hmm. The fact that they're working with Visa is really just kind of, it goes to show that ISIS is definitely on its way, which is, Visa and Verizon and T-Mobile and Sprint's, or AT&T rather, payment system via NFC that they've been talking about for 5 years now and haven't actually delivered on. So it'll be interesting, especially here at the London Games. If ISIS really comes out and is worked with, on these devices, I think it'll be a big bump worldwide for, NFC-based payments.
Sure, that's NFC. The NFC payment thing with Google, like Google Wallet or ISIS or any other, it just seems to it was a great idea, but it hasn't taken off. So it'd be really cool if, at the Olympics, everywhere they went, every food stand, every vendor or whatnot was able to take mobile payments. Okay, so I just want to go over a couple more things, and then we'll go ahead and we'll go off. Some of the quotes that were mentioned: designed for humans, inspired by nature. J.K. Shun says that he said that it was inspired by water, wind, leaves, and pebbles. one of the features he mentioned was that the phone recognizes eye movement, stays on while you're looking at it. So when you're looking at the phone, it detects that you're looking at it and won't turn the screen off. But when you look away, it'll turn the screen off. That's kind of a cool battery-saving feature, and might be a little creepy to know that your phone's watching you back. Let's see. It's a human phone that understands you. They really were trying to pitch this as an everyday device for everybody. And I thought they did a great job. S-Beam is the name of the NFC with Wi-Fi Direct, more powerful and faster, fastest and easy way to share with friends. The screen mirroring to other devices, I thought that was kind of cool. Share photos with any friend tagged in the image. So when you take a picture of a bunch of people, it'll automatically try to tag those people and ask you if you want to send it to them in multiple different ways. Some of the accessories that were announced: a flip cover, docking station for desk and car, battery charging stand, extra battery kit, wireless charging kit, an HD adapter, and S-Pebble, an MP3 player. I didn't quite pick up on what S-Pebble was. I don't. Maybe it's
Bluetooth
a
controller with a headphone jack.
Okay, so the Bluetooth controller with a headphone jack. Is there a reason, Russell, why that would be a separate?
Yeah, because they like making money on accessories. What?
Okay, well, I think it'd be something like that would just be baked into the phone.
No, well, it's something that it's an accessory for people that want it to be available. I mean, the controller it's an entirely separate battery powered controller that basically is for people who it's joggers and stuff like that. You can slide your phone in your pocket and have this thing clip onto your shirt or whatever, and have the headphones run from there, and you can listen to music. It's basically over Bluetooth. But it gives you the controller, right there on your sleeve instead of having to reach into your phone and do stuff.
Okay. 8.6 millimeters thick, 133 grams. Comes in 2 colors. All-share cast dongle. It's it streams to the dongle with an HDMI input. Just a lot of stuff to go over here. Bluetooth 4.0. The screen itself, 0.01 response time with the screen. And at the pre-show, I was talking about how I liked watching videos on that, and there was so little lag on a lot of on the Samsung screens. Connectivity, Wi-Fi channel bonding doubles the speed of Wi-Fi. Another thing that they announced, the HD Super AMOLED display at 4.8 inches. It's 22% larger than the S2, but the bezel on this device is not much larger than it was on the S2, therefore making the phone still slim and able to be held in the hand. I think that's kind of cool technology. I'm still waiting to see where you have edge-to-edge screen myself. Maybe the S4. I don't know. So I really think that's it. Is there anything else you guys wanted to go over? Anything I missed that you want to talk about the announcement?
Samsung did their hardest to just put as many toys as possible in front of us, but we still don't know a whole lot about how the phone performs. I mean, 2100 milliamp hour battery is really impressive, but what's also really impressive is the volume of things that are inside of this device that are going to be constantly draining your battery.
Right.
I mean, you take a look at things like Smart Stay. You got a front-facing camera that's going to it's basically acting as a motion detector to keep your screen from being dark. That can't be, battery sipping technology there.
Right.
And a lot of these things are going to be functioning the same way. All the different sensors in this thing, that 2100 milliamp hour battery may not be as awesome as it sounds if all of this stuff is constantly going.
One of the things that I'm going to look forward to most is the U.S. launch, because I really I'm really curious to see if T-Mobile is going to be left out in the dust with this device, and if they are, if the U.S. version's GSM version isn't going to include T-Mobile bands. I mean no iPhone, no Galaxy S3. That's really going to be bad for T-Mobile.
I think it's going to hurt too.
Yeah, that's big. That's going to be a big thing. So, all right, we got one more caller who's on the line. Let's pull him in. Area code 661. You're live on the air. Who's this?
This is Eric.
Hi, Eric. What's going on, man?
Something that nobody really else brought up, but it's kind of been pinging in my mind just because, I don't know, it's one of those things I'm always worried about now, especially considering how Motorola's been acting. They said that they improved the security for businesses. Does that mean that there's going to be something new to get past to make it to put custom ROMs on it or to root it if they're making it more secure, as they said?
I think that they were talking about security as far as enterprise security goes, as certificates and whatnot. Did any of you guys get anything different than that?
No, that was just enterprise level
Yeah,
security.
that's
Stuff
what I
that had
thought.
nothing to do with the device.
Enterprise solutions and security is what I picked up. Which the marketing lady was talking about. Bring your phone. Which instead of having your corporate give you a phone, you can actually use your own personal phone. And a lot of times you have to have certificates and stuff on there to be able to access corporate VPNs or networks. We got another caller, area code 267. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, this is Skynet 11.
Hi, how you doing, bud?
I'm good.
Good.
I couldn't help but notice that they're going to be waiting to announce the U.S. release. I expect you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
You hear me?
Yes, I hear you. So a U.S. release.
Yeah, looks like they're going with the Snapdragon S4, a dual-core 28 nanometer processor, which incidentally, 28 nanometers allows for better processing power and lower battery consumption than equivalent, dual cores elsewhere.
I think the reason, if that is actually what comes to pass, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jonathan and Russell and Bird, but the reason why they would use a dual core in a U.S. version is because of the LTE radios. Is that right?
That's correct.
No, but that's one reason.
Okay, Russell, what's the other reasons?
It's way less expensive to get the ones from Qualcomm than it is to use their Exynos processors in markets where they're going to sell more phones.
Okay, that's Jonathan. You what was your comment?
Well, I was just agreeing that it does have to do with LTE, but I also agree with Russell what he said in cost.
Right.
Has anyone really explained exactly why besides price? Is there like a hardware issue or?
Oh, you mean why Exynos devices? We don't see Exynos in the U.S. too much.
Well, not just that, but with quad-core processors and LTE.
Well, I mean, the Exynos quad-core processor is certified for LTE. Technically, that's not a problem. It's NVIDIA's Tegra processor that doesn't work with LTE yet. The radio issues.
Gotcha.
Well, go ahead.
The Exynos processor we don't see it a lot in the U.S. because Samsung has a really hard time keeping enough Exynos processors in the production pipeline for the ones that they sell to Apple.
Interesting. I just got a message from Ashley Glenn, the editor over at RootsWiki. He's got all of the images uploaded in Gallery, so the entire press kit is up there at rootswiki.com. Should be on the front page, so go check it out if you want to get some really good up close and personal kind of pictures. The press kit's really nice. There's a crap ton of pictures in there, so in all sorts of different angles and views and whatnot. So check that out. I think we're probably going to wrap this up. Is there anything else you guys want to hit before we go off the air? I honestly think the biggest thing to watch for is going to be the U.S. launch to see exactly what's happening as far as U.S. carriers. That really having no T-Mobile HSPA Plus bands on that screen kind of concerns me. But then again, that was their worldwide launch. The U.S. launch is probably going to be different. I hope to see it on T-Mobile's network.
I'm interested. Most announcements like this, they normally have like some kind of battery stat, like so and so amount of hours of talk time, so and so amount of hours of just browsing internet or something like that, data usage.
Right.
I am really interested to see how all of these sensors play into the battery draining. I would imagine if your front-facing camera is always watching whether or not you're looking at the screen, that's going to be a serious battery drain.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay. Anything else, guys, before we go off the air?
No.
All right, that's good.
Well,
I want to give us a quick wrap here. There's lots of stuff happening with Roots Live. Daily Roots podcast is off and running. We've had some great feedback so far. Please go over to blogtalkradio.com/RootsLive. Subscribe to the podcast, listen every day, or you can check it out on the front page of rootswiki.com. Also, check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/rootswikitv. That's also on the front page of rootswiki.com. We get about one video a day up there, sometimes two. We're doing product reviews, we're doing hardware reviews, ROM reviews. R2 Does Inc. does a great job of ROM reviews and whatnot there. Next week on RootzLive, it's going to be Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, 0100 UTC. We're going to have the tech lead for the Android Developer Relations team at Google. His name is Rito Meyer. This guy is the man when it comes to Android development and Google. You're going to want to check this out. It's going to be a pretty epic show. Rito is a great guy. He's going to have a lot of great input. He's also authored a bunch of Android development books. The latest one is Professional Android 4 Application Development. I've got a copy around here in my backpack. If you want to contribute to RootsWiki, we're always accepting applications for writers and people creating video content. Email staff@rootswiki.com. We'd love to get back to you. I want to thank DJ, used to be Monster, now DJ, what is it? Absinthe or something. The music, my padding music and intro music is all him. DJ Monster over on Twitter. He's a great guy. Thanks so much for contributing that. I think that's it. We're done. We'll see you on Wednesday for episode number 6 of RootzLive, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We're going to catch you next time.